Ding dong ding ah, ding dong, ding dong ding ah, ding dong ding ah, ding dong, ding dong ding ah, ding dong ding ah, ding dong, ding dong ding ah, ding dong ding ah. Hey friends, how are we feeling? I see some people commenting already. Just want to get this at just the right level so you can hear both things. How are we feeling? All right, I'm going to share this broadcast in one or two places as I always do. And while I'm sharing, first of all, I want to congratulate you for making it to day 4 with me. Some of you have been here for all 4 days. I'm so grateful that you chose to just take the plunge with me. I really decided to do this on a whim at the last minute, and it's just been so special. Thank you for journeying with me. If you're here and this is your first time tuning in for my Shadow Work Self-Care series, know that you haven't missed the rest. You can still find it on my Facebook and on my YouTube, and actually after today I'm going to make a playlist on YouTube so that it's very accessible. So what I'm doing with this series, it's a mini series, today's the last day. While I have been promoting my new album, Shadow Work, which is coming out soon, people keep asking me what shadow work is, like what those words mean. And my best answer to that, and I'm sorry if you've already heard this a few days in a row now, is that it's a personal practice, it's a growth practice, where you take a look at the parts of yourself that you have put aside or pushed down over the years because you didn't feel safe to put them in the open or for some other reason. You kind of pull those things out of Pandora's box and take a look and ask yourself if there's anything to be learned from this process. Sometimes there's a lot of healing that can happen, and sometimes we get parts of ourselves that maybe we put away when we were younger because we felt we had to, and we learn that maybe we don't have to do that anymore. You know, maybe we learn we can be our whole biggest self. So what I want to ask you before we proceed with today, the first question I always ask you, how are you feeling today? And I do not want a polite company answer. I want the real answer, please. Let me know how you're feeling. Thank you for sharing, Lauren. Sorry to hear you were crashed all day, Judith, but sometimes you gotta have a day like that, I find. Hey, Fred, how you doing? So the second question I want to ask you is, what has this experience been like for you? We've been doing some guided meditations, dealing with topics that I think are difficult for a lot of us. What's come out of it for you? Has it been challenging? Have there been some redeeming things? By the way, I'm at a different angle today. What do you think of it? I have the opinion that I'm a little washed out by my ring light. Hang on. That's a little more like mood lighting. This is kind of intimate. Why not? Refreshing and powerful. Good. So what I want to talk about today is another feeling a lot of us have difficulty with, and that is feeling proud of ourselves and directing gratitude not at a higher power, not at others in the universe, but right at ourselves. What does that feel like to you when I tell you to direct gratitude to yourself? That's my question for you today. It's a different kind of difficult feeling. going to take a little journey with our gratitude and our pride. And I'm going to tell you that pride is not always the worst thing. It's actually good to own your accomplishments. There's a difference between being proud of what you put out into the world versus, being a conceited jerk who thinks so highly of themselves. There's a lot of room between those two. So what I'm going to do is, as usual, I'll be singing your feelings to you. I'm going to be singing your feelings to you, and I want you to take a moment, close your eyes maybe, and check in with yourself. And I want you to ask yourself if there is something you can sincerely thank yourself for from the last couple of days. Put it in the chat. Let me know. I'm adjusting my headphones for a minute here. Hey, Rob, how you doing? Friends, if you missed it, I was just on the VBT Live community stream hosted by Mr. Rob Pietrzak. I always have trouble with your name. I'm taking my best stab at it. And you can check that out at VBT Live, virtually broadcasting together on Facebook. That's the name of the Facebook page, or their Twitch stream, twitch.tv/VBT Live. Really special community organization helping to make music possible and connection and artistic stuff happen within the community, even through the pandemic. There is no right answer for my last name. All the answers are wrong. Anyway, so take a moment. Let me get back into our special calm space here. What can you thank yourself for, sincerely, for the last few days? Looking back at those last few days, is there something you can thank yourself for? And what does it feel like to give yourself credit where credit is due? Does that feel awesome? Does it feel challenging? Inquiring Rorys want to know. And as always, I am going to be singing your feelings back at you in a moment, so we're going to see how that feels. is our feelings background for today. I see a couple people have posted some thoughts in the chat. Hey Barbie, glad you found us again. Fred's working on stained glass. I love that. Art is so meditative. I aspire to learn how to work with stained glass one day. Okay, so we've been posting our gratitude in the chat. If there's something you are grateful to yourself for, there's a time and place for gratitude towards other things, but I want you to be grateful to you right now, to number one. Share your gratitude with me. I will say what I'm grateful for. I am grateful that I made a difficult decision to extend my crowdfunding campaign a couple days ago because I was not where I wanted to be and coming up on the end of it, and I really, really felt like with a little more time, I could hit my goal. So I did. I extended it. I was very lucky that Indiegogo gave me the option to, and I'm grateful for myself for making that choice instead of just going like, oh, well, I guess I didn't get there. Making the choice to give myself a second chance. If you want to support with that, it's down below, tinyurl.com/support shadow work. Crowdfunding campaign is still going. Now I'm going to sing your gratitude to you. Close your eyes and listen to how grateful you are. I am grateful to myself for holding on to myself and who I am. I sincerely thank myself for all my accomplishments, both past and present. I thank myself for doing better on health and eating better and fewer insulin shots. It feels awesome to give credit where credit is due. It felt good to restart my stained glass hobby again. I'm in a great space and can transcend and grateful. All the phenomenal work and help you give me and the universe. I sincerely thank myself for live streaming consistently after I vowed to. It feels a little selfish giving myself credit for things that used to come so easily. I'm grateful for this moment I'm giving myself. I'm grateful for giving myself breaks from overscheduling. If you just tuned in, this is Shadow Work Self-Care. It's a different kind of broadcast. We're going to be doing a guided meditation. We're doing some shadow work together, and shadow work means kind of delving into the parts of ourselves that we don't usually share with the world. Or even with ourselves, we keep them stuffed down, right? So that we can get to know ourselves a little better. We can get to understand ourselves a little better, maybe show up a little better for who we are. And be bigger, better versions of ourselves. I see you guys showing up for each other in the chat. Thank you. All right, so we are going to go on a little meditative journey today. Hey, Karen, no worries. The last few days have been challenging. If you haven't been around for the last few days, you can find the replays. The last few days we dealt with a difficult emotion every day, a different difficult emotion each day. And today, I wanted to end us on a place of gratitude, and gratitude to ourselves in particular. I want to give you permission to thank yourself for showing up for difficult work, because growth is not just positivity, but growth is also not just showing up for the hard stuff. There are a lot of memes that go around. I talk about this a lot. That say like, bubble baths aren't self-care. Real self-care is showing up when it's hard. And real self-care is making a doctor's appointment when you need to. And real self-care is making yourself exercise even when you don't feel like it. And it's true that those things are real self-care. And bubble baths are also real self-care. Giving yourself a break when you need a break is real self-care. Being grateful to yourself instead of always pushing yourself every minute is real self-care. We need and deserve downtime. We need and deserve validation. We need and deserve appreciation. Barbie, I love it. Absolutely pick up your djembe and play with me. That's great. Right. So we're going to go on a little meditation today. We're going to meet someone special, as we have the last few days. This is going to be a little gentler than the last few days, though. This is my thank you to you for being with me in this journey the last 4 days. Like I said, if you're new, you can check out the replays of the last few days. They're still available on my page. Michelle says, what is going on in the cosmos other than the pandemic and that so many of us are in this place? Well, I'll tell you what, and I think this relates to the pandemic. I will also say I'm not an astrologist. I'm kind of a witchy person. I'm interested in astrology, but I have a couple people I go to, when I have astrology questions. I know just enough to get myself into trouble. But I will say, what I've been seeing come up in the last few months, while I do tarot readings for people and stuff like that, is everyone is questing right now. We've moved out of 2020 and moved into a place where we're not back so but we're starting to proceed to a place where we feel more in our equilibrium. Both because we've gotten better at this, so we feel more stable within ourselves. And because we have hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel, that this pandemic is going to at some point draw to a close. People are getting vaccinated, So people are slowly starting to come out of their shells and hope for things. And I don't think any of us felt like we were allowed to hope for things in 2020. I think we were my friend Chantel said to me the other day, it was enough to be pandemic good, meaning like good given the circumstances. And I think people are starting to dream bigger again. Slowly, it's scary. It's a little vulnerable for us. So everyone is questing. Some people are questing to change their lives. Some people are questing to bring something into their lives. Some people are questing to get something out of their lives that is no longer serving them. Everyone you meet is on a quest, like a knight, Knight. And when everyone you meet is in knight mode and questing, we can have some difficult conversations as a result of that, because it can make us a little more self-absorbed. It's just natural. It's part of growth. It's not something to feel ashamed about, just something to be aware of. So we're all really focused on what we want to do. And we can come together and compare notes around that in ways like we have been over the last 4 days. And when we come with a sense of peace and respect towards each other, we can really learn a lot. Because we're all on different journeys, but there are ways I can learn from your journey and ways you can learn from my journey and all of that. Ooh. Judith is planning to teach astrology. Stay tuned, everyone, because, man, that's awesome. Judith is the person you want to learn astrology from. I want to sing that, Judith, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to take us back into our forest, into our meditative forest. Hey, Patty Bell. You joined us just in time for the meditation. It's coming up. We're talking about being grateful, not to the universe, not to a higher power, to ourselves. It's time to show ourselves our gratitude and appreciation, which is challenging for many of us. going to start some little meditation music. This is going to be kind of softer. I've been enjoying getting to check out these kind of cool meditative MIDI options that I have over here on this stream. It's been really fun. As I lay down this music, I want you to take a moment to get comfortable. Maybe lie down, maybe sit down. Get yourself in a position where you're not going to be worried about like, oh, my back is creaking, you know? Get yourself in a comfortable position where you feel supported. Perhaps close your eyes. All right. You moved your recliner in here just for this. I'm so glad. Yes, give yourself that support. I love a good recliner. I love like a big, overstuffed, ugly armchair. I just like, it's too cozy for me to resist. All right, my loves. Oh, your kitty cat is here beside you. Michelle says, my kitty is lying beside me. She's taking this in too. Cat love. All right, friends. We're going to start to pay attention to our breath. And please breathe at your own pace. I know I'm going to be like calling out different things for you to pay attention to, but I don't want you to feel like you have to match your breathing to mine. But just notice as you inhale, feeling the air travel up your nostrils, up into your sinuses, and then down your throat, filling up your belly and your diaphragm. Feel what it takes to be really full of air. And then let it out slowly. Let it out through your mouth. And allow your lungs to completely empty as you exhale. You don't have to do this every time, but it's good to take a few breaths this way. Just to really appreciate what our body can do. The full range of experience that is breathing. We don't focus on it too often. This is something we just do without thinking about. I want to invite you to make any adjustments you need right now to be a little more comfortable, whether it's, giving your head or your shoulders a little wiggle, whatever feels good. As you're breathing in and out, if you can, try to make your exhalations a little longer than your inhalations. That kind of naturally puts our bodies in a more receptive state, where we are leaving fight or flight mode and activating parts of our systems that feel more lovey chemicals like oxytocin, and allow us to feel comforted and secure. So we find ourselves standing at the edge of a forest. We begin walking into the forest along a dirt path. Many people have walked this path before. It's not paved or anything, it's just kind of been created through use. It feels like a good path. You can see the sunlight coming in at an angle through the trees, making little patterns of light dance across the forest floor. It's very pretty. It's very peaceful here. You feel like you can let your usual worries kind of drop away from you. You don't have to carry them with you into the forest. As you're walking, you see something gold catch the light. And you bend down and you take a look. There's a beautiful golden vase. Just that classic curved shape that a vase has. Looks very special. You think it might be important, so you pick it up. You kind of brush some of the dust off of it. Maybe polish it up with your shirt a little so that it shines, you know? You just sense that this is worth giving some attention to. As you continue to walk down the path, you just feel more and more at home. You feel like you're walking to the place where you're meant to be, where you will be accepted as you, just as you are. You don't have to be on for anybody. The person that you are most naturally is celebrated and appreciated here. You feel that weight drop away, knowing that you don't have to meet anyone's expectations here. Just be who you are. And you begin to approach a big tree. It's in the center of the path. This tree is huge. It's been here longer than you and me. Probably several centuries. As you come up to the tree, you see a faint outline, kind of going up and down the trunk. And you knock right in the center of it 3 times. And a door opens in the tree, and you step inside. Within this tree, you just feel completely supported. It's bright and cozy in there. The door closes beside you. There's a nice spot for you to put down the vase you've been carrying. It just feels right. It feels like the right place for it. Maybe this is where the vase belonged all the time. Take a moment. Take in your surroundings, because they just make you feel again like you're at home. Everything about this place makes you feel warm and appreciated and safe. You find a comfortable place to sit down. You find that your eyes drift closed. You feel yourself just soaking in the energy of this place, just allowing it to fill you up and restore you. And sometime later, as your eyes float back open, you realize you're not alone here. There's someone here with you. They look a little like you, but they are older. They have a beautiful glint of humor in their eyes. They have learned not to take life too seriously. And although they're older than you, they look healthy and happy and serene. You sense that this person is actually timeless. They introduce themselves to you as your higher self, the part of you that has the most gifts to offer, the part of you with the wisdom peace and serenity to move through the world with grace. And let's be real, sometimes we lose sight of that part of ourselves as we move through the world. We focus on stress, we focus on our fears, we focus on what ifs, and we lose that quiet, wise voice within us. But today, they are here and they're telling you it's okay, and that they're so glad to see you here in this place, and that they have a gift for you if you're willing to accept it. There are strings attached. They tell you that once you have this gift, you know something you can't unknow about yourself. And what that is your own inherent worth, your own connection to wisdom and goodness. Once you take this gift, you can't forget how valuable and important you are in the world. And that can be uncomfortable sometimes. So they hope that you're ready to receive it. They hope that you're ready to step into your own worth. And before you can even say yes or no, they've reached their hand behind their back and they've pulled out a beautiful bouquet of flowers and laid it gently in your arms. They say, even if you're not ready, it's time. What do the flowers look like? What kind of flowers are they? What do they smell like to you? Do they remind you of anything or anyone? Your higher self explains that these flowers are timeless, like your higher self. And they represent your constant potential to create good and beauty in the world. Your constant potential to heal and grow and learn. They are timeless. It never goes away. Even when you're in a dark, difficult place, the flowers are still there. And you have only to breathe in and let their scent fill your consciousness to get back to that potential within yourself. Together, you arrange the flowers in the beautiful golden vase that you found along the forest floor. And your higher self explains that these flowers in this vase, this is their gift to you. It's in your care now, because you've finally reached a point where you're able to accept your own value, your own worth, and own it. And as a part of this ritual, your higher self asks you to name your strengths and the gifts that you give to the world. Your higher self already knows your strengths and the gifts, but it's important, they explain to you, that you speak them aloud. You name them. You own them. With these gifts come responsibility. Once you know the special things that you are meant to offer the world, the ways that you help, you can't unknow. And you'll begin to see opportunities to use your gifts for the betterment of others. And it won't be hard, but it might feel hard. Using your gift is actually effortless for you. It's part of who you are. But we're in a complicated world, and sometimes it feels like there's not time, or we're just too tired, or we don't know how to reach the people who need us most, how to affect change where we really see that it needs to happen. And at those times, we have to trust. We have to trust that just taking one small action today is enough. We have to return to our flowers and remember that potential is in us always, that it's never pass-fail, that every day, every moment is a new opportunity to put good into the world, and to remind yourself that you are part of the world. Sometimes the very best thing you can do is just put good into yourself, into your own life, to show up for yourself, to take a break and refill your cup as you are doing now. So take some time now and explain to your higher self what your gifts are. And it's okay if you don't know exactly what to say. It's one of those things where as you begin to talk about it, you understand more and more. And your higher self knows, and this is why they asked. And you may notice as you're talking and thinking about this, that some of your greatest gifts are also things that you have been shamed for in the past, that other people haven't understood in you. And some of the gifts you offer others now actually come out of wounds. They come out of difficult times that you experienced. You can't undo those times, things that wounded you, things that hurt you. But they have taught you things. And what you can do is pay it forward and help lessen suffering for others, because now you know what you know as a result of going through those trials. As you're talking, as you're trying to explain to yourself and your higher self what your gifts are, they just look you in the eye. And they just say yes. They're nodding encouragingly. You're getting it. And they explain to you that you have gifts you haven't even begun to touch yet. That you won't know until one day you have to face something and you find that you can do it. And a new gift emerges that you didn't even know you had inside of you. And not to worry, because it'll all come out in time. And now they let you know that it's time for you to go back to your real life. So you have work to do in the practical, mundane world. And that they remind you it's important to return to this wiser part of yourself, to return to your own infinite potential from time to time, to fill up your cup. And if living ever starts to feel like obligation and trial, that's your clue. It's time to take care of yourself. It's time to just give yourself exactly what you need to feel better. And that's not wrong. That taking good care of yourself allows you to be in full health to express your gifts most beautifully in the world. And they hand you the vase with the flowers in it. They tell you this is yours to keep. Put it somewhere you'll see it often so you don't forget. flowers don't need water. They don't need anything special, but they do need your attention. They can't help you if you don't spend time reflecting on them from time to time. If you don't spend time reflecting on your own gifts and your own potential, you begin to forget they're there. And that would be a great shame, because you have much to offer. Your higher self, before you leave, says, I want you to know you can reach out to me anytime. If you're not sure how to proceed, if you're frightened, if you're scared, if you're having trouble, the way to find me is to get quiet and still. To ask your questions. And then give yourself care. Get a full night's sleep. Do some type of movement that feels good or creativity that feels good. Lose yourself in the moment in a beautiful way. And in doing those actions, you'll find the answers you need. That's how I communicate with you. You step back into the forest. The door closes behind you. You're carrying your golden vase full of flowers, and you are inhaling their scent with every step. It's the most beautiful smell. You begin to walk back along the path, a little slower than you came, because you have a lot to think about. And you can't help but notice how absolutely gorgeous it is, watching the light come through the trees, noticing little plants around you that you never noticed before. You don't know what their names are, but they're just so nice to look at. And as you walk, you hear the sounds of civilization start to creep in. You hear voices of children playing freeze tag. You see the edge of the forest. And as you step into the sunlight, you take a deep breath and slowly stretch. This is a good time to just move your body a little gently, because you've been still for a while. Open up your eyes. Here we are. How are we feeling? Can anyone share? Is anyone willing to share any of the gifts that they talked about with their higher self? I see some people talking about their flowers. Barbie has lilies of the valley, and her gifts are listening, creating, precognition. I'm never sure how to say that word. One of those words I've seen written more than I've said out loud. Being blessed to have the talent to listen to my fellow humans. Listening is a skill that we do not give as much credit to as we should these days. Listening is beautiful. To gather information, to have ears that pats. Fred says, flowers need love just like everything else. Yes, it's true. Remember, you and your gifts and your potential need love. Oh, that's so beautiful. Fred was told that his aura is like a cherry blossom. Never understood that till 30 years later. That's so lovely. Cherry blossoms are just beautiful. We're coming right up to that part of the year where we start to see cherry blossoms and apple blossoms, at least where I am in New York. It's so lovely. A few weeks from now. seeing some of your comments, feeling relaxed. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. This is the end of our Shadow Work Self-Care mini-series. If you've enjoyed this, I think I am going to be doing more stuff like this in the future, and I'm probably going to be moving it to Twitch, which is a live streaming community that I'm trying to spend more time on. You can subscribe to me there at twitch.tv/Rory Kelly. I'm going to be doing a lot there, a lot of musical stuff, as well as this kind of thing. And these videos are going to remain up. I'm going to make a playlist on YouTube, and I'll drop it in the comments later so that you can return to them anytime you want, because this is the kind of work that happens in a spiral. You might remember at the beginning of this series, I mentioned that we learn in a spiral. We come back around, we face the same lessons, but we know a little more each time. So it can be valuable to go through these same ideas every so often and just see how we feel about them then. See what we've learned. I'm so grateful for you all spending time with me and really being vulnerable and supportive of each other too. It's just been so meaningful to me to see people showing up for each other in the chat. Strangers, just being kind to one another, holding compassion at a time when there's so much vitriol on the internet. We're giving each other love. If you've enjoyed this and you would like to support this work, you can do so at tinyurl.com/support shadow work. That is my crowdfunding campaign for the album I'm coming out with called Shadow Work. I'm going to take us out with a song. I'm going to give you guys a little warning before this song. There's a bad word in it. If you don't want to hear bad words, now's the time to say adieu. If, like me, you derive some satisfaction from saying bad words every so often, I hope you'll join me. This song is called Up From Here, and it's a song about belligerent positivity. I want you to hold the idea of belligerent positivity in your mind for next time the world seems to be just getting at you. You know what I mean? When nothing seems to be going right. Belligerent positivity is my answer to those times. Belligerent gratitude, belligerent optimism, where we say, oh yeah? Well, I'm still hopeful for the future, and I'm grateful to have this moment so I can appreciate how good I am in a crisis. So there. The song is called Up From Here. It is going to be track 9 on the album for those of us keeping score at home. Can we talk about the loss of tiny objects, very small specific parts without which nothing can be fixed? Should we talk about Mercury retrograde? It's totally cool. I love to put the past in perspective. But now that we are back in the present, everything in my life seems to be broken. Should we talk about my psychological state? Let's not play with fire here. It's already been a long day. You cannot be serious the way you're jerking me around. This bad luck is hilarious, 'cause you can't keep this fucker down. No, you can't keep this fucker down. Straight from my higher self, she cusses like a sailor. Should we talk about guitars and cars and bank accounts? It's Russian roulette. Where will the problem be today? I am one headlight short of a bright outlook. That's not a metaphor. I hope I don't get pulled over anyway. I thank my lucky stars that I am good in a crisis. I thank me with a good time. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Everything will be just fine as soon as I find my keys in my wallet. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. Oh, you cannot be serious the way you're jerking me around. This bad luck is hilarious, 'cause you can't keep this fucker down. No, 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 watch me turn my luck around. Oh, 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 you can't keep this fucker down. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with me today. Don't forget to keep looking after your flowers, your gifts. If you like what you've been hearing, you want to help make this album come to life, visit tinyurl.com/support shadowwork. And if you're watching a replay, thanks. In that case, just type Rory Kelly, RORIEKELLY, into your favorite place to listen to music, and you'll be able to hear the studio versions of these songs. Farewell, everybody. Have a great one.